my name is Elise from Edge Stencils, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to stencil this gorgeous mandala accent table in under 1 hour. Let's get stenciling. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is remove the glass from the table or anything that's really going to get in the way of you trying to stencil. Next, I'm going to use this wood finishing pad. You can get it at your local hardware store. This stuff is extremely inexpensive. And then we're going to scuff the surface of this table so that we can provide better adhesion for the paint. Before stenciling, I'm going to take some denatured alcohol and wipe the table clean. This is just going to remove any of the excess dust left on the table, and it's going to give us a fresh start before stenciling. Next, we're going to find the midpoint of the table. I'm going to tie a knot around one of the legs of the table. Then I pulled the string tight across to the opposite end of the table to create a straight line. Using the string as a reference, I took a chalk pencil and drew a line closest to where I thought the center of the table was. Then I repeated the same process using the other two legs of the table. When you do this, it creates a cross section in the center of the table and allows you to find your midpoint much easier. For this project, we're going to evenly load our dense foam roller, and then we're going to offload onto a paper towel. Begin by evenly building up your paint on the stencil roller and then rolling the excess paint onto a paper towel. This technique reduces paint bleed tremendously. I'm going to apply spray adhesive to the back of my stencil. You can find spray adhesive at any of your local craft stores, and this is to help ensure that the stencil won't shift, and it also reduces bleed. Simply apply a light mist to the back of your stencil and you're good to go. After applying spray adhesive to the back of the stencil, I'm then going to place the mandala onto the table, allowing the center opening of the mandala to sit on top of the midpoint of the table that we previously marked. To begin stenciling, I'm going to roll lightly with my stencil roller, and this is going to help reduce bleed because the more paint that's saturated on a roller, the more paint seepage that can occur underneath the stencil. What I've learned from stenciling is that if you apply light layers, your project dries quicker and gets done faster. I'm going to apply 2 coats of paint to ensure full coverage across the entire stencil. And don't be afraid to bend your stencil to conform to the shape of your table. You know, a lot of furniture is really oddly shaped, but the great thing about these stencils is that they're pliable and you can move them around to fit to the shape of your furniture. We always seal our stenciling projects with polyurethane. We recommend using a water-based polyurethane, and for this specific project, we're going to be using a crystal clear satin finish. Make sure your paint is completely dry before applying polyurethane. You can use a dense foam roller to apply polyurethane, but for this project, I'll be using a nylon paintbrush, which you can find at any of your local hardware stores. After you finish stenciling, the last thing you want are bubbles in your polyurethane. To prevent this from happening, stir your polyurethane instead of shaking the can. When applying polyurethane, work your brush from one side to the other. The surface should be wet and easy to manipulate throughout the process. And don't forget to check your sides for any excess polyurethane that could have dripped over during the process. We recommend 2 to 3 coats of polyurethane, allowing each coat to dry before applying the next. The finished product came out so good. Doesn't the mandala just fit perfectly at the bottom of this table? Reassemble your stenciled statement piece and show it off to the ones you love.